Hi there, welcome to my series of YouTube tutorials, games to play during piano lessons. This is game number 10 called Hide and Seek. This is a trick that I use with my students when in despair they say to me when I give them a new piece to play and they have to look at the scores and start playing it, start learning it. And they say to me, but how can I read the scores at the same time and look at the piano keyboard? And they're looking at you as if you're asking them to become a unicorn just with a tap of a finger. So then I become the Houdini, the magician. I take a cover or their scorebook. It has to be quite large so that it covers their hands and also some part of the piano keyboard. And I cover their hands. I place it on the piano keyboard, on that first key with the appropriate finger that they're going to have to play. They just touch it, they don't play it yet. I ask them to hold it there. I take the book and I cover their hands. I don't touch their hands, of course. I don't want to make them more difficult for them to play, so I kind of hold it like, let's say, 3 inches. And you better do this trick firstly with easy short pieces that don't have any finger turns or jumps and have mostly consecutive keys and not more than an interval of a fifth, because you're going to use all 5 fingers. So what you're actually teaching your students is that they don't only have 2 eyes, they have 12 eyes. The tip of their fingers are becoming their eyes. The brain looks at the stimuli on the piano scores. Of course, they already have to know how to read the scores. And the eyes give the correct order to the brain, and the brain transmits it to the other eyes and play it on the piano keyboard without them having to look at the piano keyboard. And it's also important for you not to write down all of the fingers, maximum 30%, because you don't want them to become those piano students that read fingers instead of keys. So let's see this trick, this hide and seek on the piano. So here I'm going to first give a short piece of 4 bars that only has consecutive keys from C, which is the lowest, and G, which is the highest. Not all the time they're going to be consecutive. There's going to be one jump at the end, but it's always the same hand positions and there are no finger turns. So let's start first with the right hand. I'm taking the cover, and before I take it, I ask my student, okay, place your first finger, and I only give in this piece in the right hand only 2 fingers, on the first bar and the third bar. They don't need to have it all because there are many consecutive keys and they're going to have to think with their brain which key to play and not which finger. So, first finger on C key. I ask them to hold it, and then I hide their hands. And then I ask them to start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Here's the jump. 3, 4. From G to C. They're going to have to look how the keys are going, whether they're going up or down consecutively here in the beginning, and their fingers are going to have to react to that stimuli that their brain has already taken from looking at those keys. That's why I don't write all the fingers down. I don't want them to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the left hand. The left hand is much easier. It just accompanies and always has values of a whole note. Third finger on E key. I place it. I hide it. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's always consecutive, one after the other. And only here at the end, I went from G with my first finger to the 5th finger on C key. You can give that last finger. Another trick to help them is to ask them to look first at the scores and kind of get some kind of a general idea, give them a compass of how the melody is moving, and then cover their hands. So, for practical reasons, I cannot play it with both of my hands and covering it. So let's say that my hands are now covered. This is the piece. And I've given only 4 fingers. I've written down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the jump on the left hand is only from 3rd bar to the 5th, and from the right hand every time consecutive keys, and only the last key from going from the higher one to the lowest one. Now, if you see your student is already becoming fluent with that and trust their hands, you give them a bit more difficult piece. Let's say this piece I'm gonna play now has 1 finger turn and 1 small jump. Let's let them look at it first and kind of try to track it down with their mind, and then place their hand on the piano keyboard, first finger on C key. Take the cover and hide the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finger turn, but on consecutive keys. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a C major scale, just has some kind of more, let's say, various melody steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the finger turn. They are consecutive keys, but not consecutive fingers. This already should be kind of easy for your students to play from the scales, right? And then there are no finger turns, but there's gonna be here 1 jump from F to A. So when you cover it, they're gonna have to see that they're going from space to space. They're gonna have to jump the line and move with their 3rd finger on A key. And then again consecutive keys, but just going down, and then up again consecutively till the end. The left hand is very easy, only has 1 jump at the end, starts from C. I'm not gonna cover it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, going down consecutively. 4, 1, 2, 3, and only at the end goes back to the 1st key. This is also something that you can ask your students to notice. When they're reading only with their eyes, with their mind, without touching the piano keyboard, ask them, do you see any similarities? First bar is the same with the last one, which is going to be very often the case, right? So you're going to have to tell them that. Now, let's play it and imagine that my hands are being covered. C key and C key, first fingers. Anti-parallel movement in the beginning, left hand going down, right hand going up. 1, 2, 3, finger turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1 small jump. 3, 4. 1, 2 consecutively up, and 1 jump for the left hand. 3, 4. And lastly, I like this trick because it gives a very big boost of confidence to my students, to any student, because it makes them realize that they don't always have to look at the piano keyboard to play the correct keys. They can trust their fingers and their hands. And also when they become more fluent with piano techniques, they can also rely on the jumps with chords and basses on the left, or a very complicated melody scheme you're actually, as a teacher, you're making the connection in their brain that already this ability is like a superpower ability. You're making them feel like a superhero, and you can see it in the look in their eyes when they realize it. I always look at their eyes because I want to get this feeling also for myself and be happy about it. That this super ability is already inside them. It's just that they never tried it before. They never tried to trust that their fingers are gonna respond correctly just by, although they're looking at some other language, some other code, but the other part of their body can translate it without having to look at it all the time. So, enjoy this game, hide well, but don't just seek the keys, find them.